Welcome, everyone, to the Nikki Clark Show. How is everyone doing? Awesome. Awesome. It's always a pleasure to be here in the studio, and I thank you all for making the right choice to stop here at the Nikki Clark Show. The show is about transforming lives one story at a time, and we've been doing this for, can you believe, 16 years. So I am so proud to be the host and the producer, and I am thrilled to be back here to share some more stories of upliftment, empowerment, and education. So today on the show, we're joined by two inspiring women transforming lives through their own powerful journeys. Ingrid Gentles, the founder of Her Life Reboot, helps women bounce back from burnout and rediscover their purpose with faith and confidence. Marian Kayongo is a courageous woman, an advocate who overcame trauma and homelessness after arriving in Canada. Now she empowers through her work at rest centers and her upcoming book. So please welcome Ingrid and Marian to the Nikki Clark Show. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. You both look incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So let's start with Ingrid.
Yes.
Ingrid, can you tell us what inspired you to create Her Life Reboot?
As long as I've known myself, Nikki, I have always been mentoring women, high school right up until college, university right up until now. And it wasn't something that I sought after, it was something that actually came to me. And so I found that to be quite interesting. And along the way, I started my business. I have a hair business. And being involved in the hair business gave me further access to a lot more women. And listening to their stories, because you know, when you're doing hair, somehow something magical happens and people feel relaxed and they open up and they just start sharing and pouring out. And I guess they felt it was a safe space for them to be there. Hearing the stories of relationship pressures and issues and life burnout and hurts and pain, I thought to myself, here's an opportunity for Her Life Reboot to come forward. And that's how it was birthed in the first place. By hearing so many women, hearing all the different challenges, and being able to be a mentor, encouraging them, uplifting them, empowering them. Marianne is one of those individuals. I think I found my passion. And you know, when you have a passion, your calling comes into place.
It's a lot like therapy.
Yes,
I think
it is.
you'd understand that, yes. You feel a connection to your stylist.
Right, yes.
Absolutely. So what was the moment in your life when you felt that you needed a reboot?
Wow, that's a great question. To be totally transparent, I will say this, that after a second divorce, I was married to my husband, and I married the same man twice. So, you know, we've been together
Twice?
for twice, correct. And so after two failed marriages, even though it was with the same person, I sort of felt displaced. Children are grown, empty nest syndrome is in place, and I started to ponder, Ingrid, what are you about? What is life about? What do you want out of life? Things I've never really had a chance to look at when I was busy being a mother and a wife and all that sort of thing. So I would say that going through the breakup, I had to find myself again, to be quite honest. And that gave me the courage to start to look at counseling, coaching. I've had coaching sessions with various different coaches, getting counseling, and just recognizing that I need to shift my mindset to know that changes happen in life, and as human beings, sometimes it's very difficult for us to handle changes.
Right.
And so it was at that moment that I said, okay, with all the backings and all the different various counseling sessions that I've had and coaching sessions, I was able to come to a place to say it's time to reboot. It's time to reinvent yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I believe you have a logo that we're going to look
Yes.
forward and put it up. It's a beautiful logo, and I
Thank
think there's
you.
a bit of a butterfly
Yes.
in there that
Correct.
I resonate with.
Okay.
But here's a question for you, and I know that you're also a chaplain.
Correct, yes.
How does faith play a role in the transformation journeys you support?
Wow. I would say that faith is an integral part of the business. Without faith, I wouldn't be able to actually do this, because we need to recognize that while we have all the practical strategies in place, the things that we are to do to make sure a business is effective and functional, for me, faith and trust in God is a huge part, because I have to trust God through the process, because we don't have all the answers to everything. And while we can put things in place, ultimately there comes a time when you have to go to the higher creator. And so I sort of partner both in my business, faith and God, and the practical aspect of what I need to do to ensure that my business grows and survives.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's a really amazing reflection, Ingrid. And I was saying something very similar to a colleague a couple of days ago. And she was, being stretched, in many ways, and I had to remind her about, having faith the size of a mustard seed. If it's that small, it's still enough.
Yes.
To move a mountain. And I said to you, I'm no stranger to being tested, in your faith. So it's a really wonderful and profound reflection.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Marion, let's ask you some questions. I'd love to know what gave you the courage, because that is not an easy decision to make, to up and leave your country, Uganda, and start a new life in Canada. What was that like for you to make that decision?
Thank you, Nikki. What gave me the courage was that I had had enough. I reached a point of enough. I grew up in a polygamous family where we were so many children with one father and different mothers. We were fighting for affection for our dad, so we had competing against each other. It was a ground that you didn't want to grow up in. So when my dad passed away, I was married off. And the funny part is...
At 16, right?
Yes, I was actually 17. But the funny part is when they married me off, I was happy, because I was happy to leave this place. But after a while, I realized I was robbed of my childhood. Like, it reaches a point where I didn't even want the people that know me to know that I'm married, I have children, So, and it went on, but when my marriage failed, when a marriage fails, a woman is blamed. So the blame was on me because the marriage is not working. So I became an outcast. I had nowhere to go like everybody. People welcome you for a bit, but after a while, they are tired of you. So you reach a point, I reached a point whereby I'm like, what about these kids? My daughter was 8 months then, so I was looking at, what am I going to do? So having enough of everybody deciding what my life is or how it should be, gave me the move that I want to open a new chapter. A chapter whereby my kids will have it different. I wanted them to have a better upbringing. So with that, I carried in my bag, I got a little bit of faith, that mustard seed of faith. And in the other bag, I put hope. And off I flew to Canada. That is what I did. That's what moved me.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And upon arrival and getting yourself kind of settled, you lived in a shelter with your family.
No, I didn't live in the shelter. I lived on the street for 2 days. For the first 2 days, when I carried my hope and faith, when I got in Canada, I realized I had no plan. When I reached there, I was like, now what? So someone told me there's a place where people, when people come in for refugee, go. And when I went there, people had laid their blankets, and that's where we slept for 2 days. It is on Peterson Street 129, yeah. For 2 days, but the good thing is my kids were so tired, they slept for 2 days. Like those days, they slept on.
Yes.
So as a mother, I was trying to figure out what to do. And talking to people, someone told me, you know what? There is a place I can take you. They took me to a Red Cross. And when I went to the Red Cross, I told them my story, and they're like, okay, fine, we can get you a shelter. So that is how I got from the street and went to the shelter. So from the shelter, we stayed at the shelter a while. That's where I met Ingrid, Chaplain Ingrid, at a church, Mississauga Victory Church, and she decided to empower me and help me through my struggles, because I was at a point of stagnance. I had faith and hope, but I had no plan. I was like, now what? I'm in a different country. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. The kids are looking at me. We are in a shelter with a 16-year-old boy living in one room. He's looking at me and he's like, Mom, what? So,
but it got you, that preparation gave you the empathy that you needed to be an operations coordinator for rest centers.
yes. So with all that I went through, one thing I realized that it was preparing me to empower others. It was preparing me to know what others go through. So right now, while I'm helping others, it is at a point of understanding and knowing, because I've been there. I have been walking through that path, and I'm able to see, and I'm able to look at them and tell them that, you know what? This is a season, and this season will end. And you know how I know it? Because I was there, and I'm here now. So it really surprises them, but also encourages them. They're like, what? Are you sure you're just here for 2 years? Yeah, and it gives them that hope, because they realize, oh, if she has done it, I can do it too. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your testimony. And I so appreciate your candor and just the courage that you both have to step out of the comfort zone, out of what is kind of routine for you, and to take this bold step to help others. So please, Ingrid, please tell us how people can find you on social media.
Yes, on my Instagram page is at her. Oh, I am so sorry.
That's okay. Excellent. And how can we find you, Marian?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook. I'm Queen Kayongo. And on LinkedIn, I'm Marian Kayongo.
Ingrid Gentles and Marian Kayongo, everyone, thank you very much. We'll be right back.